This presentation will provide an internal analysis of Thorntons, which will then assist in the development of a product development report at a later date. When John Thornton decided to open his sweet shop in Sheffield in 1911, it is doubtful that he expected to be laying down the foundations of a dynasty that would last more than 100 years. It is also debatable that when he left his 14-year-old son in charge of the store with the parting words of "make this the best sweet shop in town," he actually expected that to come to fruition. With this slide, we will assess the consumer perceived value, the CPV, of Thorntons using the customer value model of Bademosi et al. In terms of image, the image value that Thornton customers wish to engender is one of having purchased or received a premium, high-quality product, one that conveys the message through either the purchasing experience or gift receiving experience that quality counts and is assured. Therefore, the personal value, the value of the product, whether as an item of premium chocolate for personal consumption or as a gift, is of direct value and importance to the customer, especially in terms of gift giving. For services, the secure payment methods and options both in-store and online, or safe and timely gift delivery services, underpin high-quality services. It is therefore of great importance to CPV that areas such as these are consistent. Failure to achieve this will significantly undermine CPV of the services aspects of Thornton's experience and could therefore impact negatively. In terms of product, Thorntons has positioned itself as a premium product provider, and this is what the customer expects. Any deviation or substandard delivery from this expectation will certainly impact Thorntons negatively, through either lost custom or just as damagingly through negative online reviews, such as seen on Facebook by Mar in 2020. Monetarily, Thorntons is aimed at attracting non-price conscious consumers, and this approach works, but only as long as the product quality and quantity can be assured. But with production lacking the high level of automation that some competitors employ, means employing more workers on a seasonal basis, adding to greater costs passed to the consumer. As such, without the continued financial support from Ferrero Group, as highlighted by Devlin, this may not be sustainable in the future, in light of the huge financial impact of the COVID-19 epidemic, which is yet to be fully realised. In terms of time, the time factor is dependent on whether purchasing is online or in person in the high street, but it is only personal shopping that provides access to the physical products, which in turn adds time to the purchasing activity. However, the time taken to peruse the products online may take even more time, as the decision-making process may be longer due to the lack of the tactile shopping experience. In terms of energy required for the purchase is dependent on whether the purchase is online or in person. High street purchasing is by its very nature more experiential than for online shopping, thus requiring more physical energy to undertake. In terms of the psychic effort of purchasing, this is dependent on the actual level of the purchase. For instance, if this is a self-treat, then the effort may only extend to the identification of what takes your fancy. However, for a gift for a spouse, partner, or significant event, the psychic effort may well be regarded as high value. As such, the desire to get it right may be significant. Likewise, this may also pertain to the activity of online shopping, which may require greater mental acuity. In this slide, we will analyse the consumer motivation within target segments. Blythe asserts that motivation is the product of need recognition, i.e. the individual recognises the need, which in turn triggers a response of either a high-level drive, which in turn triggers a desire to deal with the drive, or not. If the need is strong enough, it will develop into motivation, by which the individual will then be positioned to begin to find an answer to that high-level need. However, drive has a singular focus: find a solution to the need. It is at this point, however, that the way in which the drive manifests into the motivation and how that is operationalised that concerns us. Kim argues that utilitarian motivations consist of efficiency, cost and value, and achievement, whilst Parker and Wang go further and add that elements of convenience, personalised services, and convenient operational services. Conversely, Arnold and Reynolds both assert that hedonic motivations consist of adventure shopping, social shopping, gratification, idea, role, and value shopping. However, in terms of those segmented target consumers for Thorntons, as indeed with all consumers, there is a need for both utilitarian and hedonic motivation elements to be satisfied in order to achieve a satisfactory shopping outcome. So if we look at the utilitarian, as in box 1, the need to find a convenient gift, for instance, that is supported by efficient personalised service and operational services such as delivery, then the online option for Thorntons would fit this description. Likewise, if the consumer is shopping for a gift, then hedonically the ability to invest in social shopping, i.e. the enjoyment factor, as well as role shopping, gaining the satisfaction of shopping for others, further provides the motivational impetus required for gift shopping. Further, if all the elements of utilitarian and hedonic motivations are catered for by Thorntons as much online as in store, this would then support the increased frequency of online impulse shopping, as posited by Childers, Chang and Lowe et al. In this slide, we will examine Thorntons' history. Thorntons became a new entrant into the UK market in 1911 when John Thornton opened his first store in Sheffield. The shop served the local region with a number of innovative sweet products such as cashews, sweet lips and full nanas, which in fact is Hindi for lovely flower. Upon John's death in 1919, the reins of Thornton was handed over to his son Norman, and he was soon joined by his brother, thereby cementing the family brand Thorntons is associated with. Further development of product lines allowed them to develop into a more regional player, which in turn allowed them to open their first factory in 1927. Creating employment opportunities, ensuring society also benefited from the Thorntons brand, which by 1939 had expanded in size to 35 shops across 18 cities in the Midlands, the North and Scotland. After the war, Thorntons continued to expand across the country, so by the time the 1960s had arrived, it had 200 stores in total. During the 1980s and 1990s, Thorntons introduced their franchise extension strategy, which allowed them to raise sufficient capital to expand their operation into the Belgian and French chocolate markets. However, this experiment was short-lived, and by 1996 they sold off all 31 shops across Belgium and France. Thorntons continued its product extension by introducing such channels as the Thorntons Cafes, where they were able to sell hot beverages, chocolate cake and ice creams, whilst also introducing other brand extensions such as t-shirts and body wash infused with chocolate fragrance. Today, Thorntons is a member of the Ferrero Group, having been purchased for £112 million in 2015, after having suffered numerous losses over the years, both financially and through the impact of poor operational planning on customer loyalty. Now, with the advent of COVID-19, however, Thorntons, like many retailers, has been forced to close its high street operations and rely more heavily on its online presence. But with the premiumisation of its brand and the associated cost of Thorntons and its services, this may, in the near to mid-future, prove to be too expensive for many of those unexpectedly affected by the financial fallout of this pandemic. However, only time will tell. In this slide, we will use the 7 Ps to analyse Thorntons' marketing mix. Thorntons are a provider of product and services, hence the reason the use of the 7 Ps. In terms of product mix then, Thorntons are a premium product provider with products ranging from handmade confectionery, ice cream, cakes and biscuits, as well as personalised gifting ideas, with small and large, as well as larger hampers. Thorntons also utilises a franchise strategy, which can reasonably be argued as being a product. For place mix then, channels via their high street stores, both owned and franchises, as well as through selected supermarket retailers, with all Thorntons products available online with door-to-door delivery available. However, that delivery service comes at an extra cost. For promotions mix then, Thorntons has numerous channels in its promotional mix, starting with their own website, where their promotional activities such as buy one get one free and promotional code group buying is available. Thorntons also has a social media presence on numerous platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. And for offline promotions, Thorntons conducts TV advertising as well as promotional store selling, so once again as buy one get one free or 3 for 2. Thorntons also promotes factory visits, allowing bloggers and enthusiasts as well as journalists the opportunity to look around and understand the manufacturing process. In terms of price then, Thorntons has adopted a premiumisation, which means that prices are set to reflect the customer perceived value of high quality products, as such supporting the market-based psychological pricing method of price. For people then, Thorntons was a family-run business and therefore endeavours to maintain a family-centric organisational culture. However, the continuing repercussions of the financial difficulties, with redundancies announced at the Derby factory and store closures across the country, raises the prospect of a long-term staff affected by this beginning a negative word-of-mouth campaign. Also, in terms of corporate culture, this is now to a larger degree being influenced by the more centralised approach of the Ferrero Group, although the group does highlight their dedication towards empowerment of staff through education and training opportunities. In terms of physical evidence then, for Thorntons, the evidence mix is where the intangible meets the tangible. In store purchasing, data such as secure payment, footfall, product turnover and repeat customer data all feed into this physical evidence, with online data gathered from elements such as product selection and purchasing, as well as the door-to-door delivery service usage. Also, data can be collected from the selected products available at third-party retail outlets. In terms of process mix then, the process refers to how the actual service is delivered. And for Thorntons, this means understanding how effective both store-based and online activities are performing. For store-based processes, this would include product delivery to stores, our promotional activities such as buy one get one free or 3 for 2 deals effective, and are customers satisfied with in-store experience and the level of customer service or complaint procedures. Regarding online processes then, this is an online experience delivered to customers. Is it the best experience, and is it sufficient to encourage online impulse purchasing? Also, is the online experience quick and secure? Can the customer easily purchase multiple items, and how effective is the delivery service? And what about online customer complaints? Does this engender quick resolution or potentially endanger customer loyalty? And just as importantly, are those selected items sold through third-party retail outlets being monitored and where needed adjusted? The marketing mix then is a vital element of a marketing strategy, and no one element should be considered in isolation, as they will all have some form of impact across the spectrum. It is therefore a constantly evolving living experience, and in these trying times it is even more important that it remains so. In this slide we will analyse the sustainability approach of the Ferrero Group as it pertains towards Thorntons. Drucker argued that the basic function of business is to attract and retain customers. However, the triple bottom line theory postulates that profitability is not the only objective for an organisation. In this modern era, how can these two seemingly different points of view be reconciled? There is an imperative now to raise cocoa farmers in countries ranging from the Ivory Coast in Africa to Latin American countries such as Ecuador from poverty, by purchasing their produce at a fair market price, which may be above what they have been previously paid, and this, from a marketing point of view, addresses several areas. Firstly, socially they are actively addressing social justice, which is also being demanded for by consumers concerned with ethical fair trade corporate behaviour. Secondly, Ferrero can arguably claim to be addressing the economic element of their sustainability strategy because they demonstrate ethical approaches towards sustainability. They may well, therefore, be able to attract and retain ethically and environmentally conscious consumers and customers. At the same time, economic concentration empowers individual farmers to provide for their families, put much needed capital back into the local communities, as well as provide the financial means to allow for sustainable cocoa farming to continue to develop and mature. This also provides Ferrero and by extension Thorntons the opportunity to be recognised as leaders in the sustainable supply chain, which emphasises an important competitive differentiator. This approach is transferable across every element of the sustainability strategy, for which Ferrero Group has 4 pillars. These are protect the environment, where they have committed now to introducing 100% recyclable packaging, source sustainable ingredients, as we've already discussed, through ethical farming, promote responsible consumption, therefore addressing areas such as the growth in childhood obesity, and empowering people through fair trade and addressing childhood labour. In conclusion then, Thorntons are an organisation that has a long history of producing high quality confectionery and have had many successes, from high quality toffees and chocolates from their early days through to opening hundreds of stores across the country, as well as launching a successful franchise strategy alongside employing thousands of workers. However, recent times have seen Thorntons suffer from severe financial difficulties and poor operational planning that have adversely affected customer loyalty, and now they have been purchased by the Ferrero Group. If they are to survive the potential financial storm of the COVID-19 pandemic, Thorntons must continue to be innovative chocolatiers. If this is achievable, however, remains to be seen.